2023 is the last call for the Challenger and the Charger, and they're gonna go out with a bang. This is the new Shakedown Special Edition, and there's other special editions for this Challenger, and we're gonna take a detailed look at this, the inside, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a look at the exterior details on this last call for this 2023 Challenger. Now, first of all, there are a couple of special editions starting out. We have the Black Ghost based off the SRT Hellcat Red-Eye wide body with 807 horsepower, the Swinger Special Edition, which is a retro-themed Scat Pack wide body, the Blacktop Special Edition. You get blacked out badges and accents. It's an upgraded SXT and GT model, and then the Shakedown shown right here. This Shakedown model looks absolutely menacing. They all really do. And this is the wide body, so based off of the Scat Pack or the Scat Pack wide body here. Look at this scoop up front. Plus you've got this the striping package. You've got different size stripes with the red accent. So black and red accent here, hood pins, and then you've got HID headlights with an LED turn signal. And this looks really nice up front. Now the paint on this one is the pitch black, and of course we have these red accents. You've got the red 392 badging here, huge fender flares on this wide body as well. This car is absolutely menacing. We just need some tinted windows here. Then you're gonna get 20-inch wheels. We have the wide body 20-inch rims, or the carbon black Warp Speed, plus the red Brembo brakes with our Shakedown model. One cool thing is there are some new paints for the last year here. We have Destroyer Gray, Plum Crazy, Sublime, and B5 Blue. And of course it's gonna maintain its original muscle look. I think this car looks fantastic. It has absolutely grown on me over the years as well. The striping package continues to the trunk all the way up on the roof, and you've got a Shakedown little decal back here too with the split LED taillight and the split dual exhaust. What do you think? Now, a really quick look at the trunk. This is actually a surprisingly big trunk. You can open it with that, with your key fob. This is a massive trunk. I mean, it's really wide. This is bigger than what you'll find in most sedans, almost all sedans. It's wide. The trunk opening is still fairly big, even with these huge haunches, and you've got good room on both sides. Underneath of the floor, there's no spare tire. There's just an inflator kit and your Harman Kardon subwoofers and your battery. Of course, it's going to give you the smart key system with the Dodge written on it, and you've got remote start on here. You can open your trunk. It's not a bad key fob, feels plasticky, but it is good size. Then as you approach, the smart key system works with a lock right there or unlock sensor behind the handle. And these are the Shakedown seats. So we've got black Napa leather. We've got this Alcantara, this micro suede in here. Take a look at that emblem. These seats even have the demonic red seat belt, red contrast stitching. They've got big bolsters on them as well at the bottom and on the side body. Dodge gives us memory settings for these seats. We even have power adjustment for the steering wheel. The steering wheel is also heated and it is leather wrapped. It's got some nice perforations on it, nice big bulky grips. And these seats are heated and ventilated as well. So you get a pretty much loaded Scat Pack trim with this Shakedown, and these big bolsters hold you in nice and tight, but they're wide enough so that bigger bodied people can probably fit in here pretty well. And there's tons of legroom. To keep it short, the back seat is obviously going to be small, but big enough to fit some kids back here, and better than the Camaro and the Mustang. And there's a fold down armrest, which includes cup holders, plus you even get air conditioning vents back here. So, I mean, you could throw some kids back here. Real quick, over on the door, you've got the red stitching up here, a soft material here, and a nice soft armrest. There's even a little storage cubby in the back and a good sized bottle holder right there. One of these big suckers even fits in there. Something I don't usually point out, but which is nice in a car like this, is a manual parking brake and nice metal pedals. This comes with push button start. It says shaker right there. Nice loud startup. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the stuff in the interior because nothing's much different, but you've got the red stitching, you've got the Shakedown little emblem over there, you know, for this specific model, but it's very similar to what other ones are going to have. Like I said, nice comfortable steering wheel. The red stitching carries over on here. It is heated. 7-inch display right there is standard with a wide variety of information and your retro looking gauges. Looking out the front, you've got a world-class view of that performance hood scoop. Then coming over here, we've got the 8-inch Uconnect system. It does come with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but it's not wireless. It's easy to use. Some of your controls you have to get into the screen in order to use, but it's not a big deal, and it's pretty easy to navigate. There's a lot of different settings that you can customize, and Apple CarPlay takes up a smaller portion of the screen. But look in here, you've got this carbon fiber like trim all around in here with that red stitching. Down here, you're gonna get more controls, including a launch control, some drive modes that will pop up onto the screen. So you can actually activate line lock to warm up your tires, use a shift light if you want, track mode, sport mode, even a custom mode. And for your launch control, you can control the RPM that you want to start at. There's also dual zone climate control back here, some audio controls, parking sensors, things like that. This shifter is kind of retro. I like it too. You got the gear selector, a little storage pocket down there, more of this nice trim instead of just a shiny black plastic. These cup holders, a little bit offset, I kind of like that. And then a soft armrest. Open this up and you've got some decent space inside for a car like this, including a couple USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet. And there's a 12-volt power outlet and storage area right over here. The glove box can be locked, and it's even soft opening, softly lined, and two-tiered. Automatic dimming rearview mirror, you've got garage controls, you've got sunglass holder up here too, and even some like Alcantara micro suede up here on the roof. A sunroof is optional, but we don't have one in this model. Under the hood for this particular model, things stay the same. It's got the Scat Pack power plant. So we've got this 6.4 liter Hemi V8. It's the 392 with 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. This one comes with the upgraded 8-speed transmission as well, and of course it is rear-wheel drive. And if you're buying this, you don't care about miles per gallon, but it's rated up to 24 on the highway. Now obviously you probably know you can get the higher end models of the Challenger and the Charger and get up to 807 horsepower. All right, y'all, we're just getting behind the wheel of the Challenger. Now this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I've also driven the Redeye. I've driven some of the more powerful versions of the Charger and the Challenger, and I've got to say the Scat Pack version right here with this V8, I think is my favorite. I think that the other ones are just, for day-to-day street driving, they're just a little just a little extra. I mean, they're dangerously fast. You just lose your rear end in no time, and you can do that in here too, but this is just a perfect amount of power and noise and fun, and I love it. This car feels absolutely large and in charge, especially with that huge hood. You've got this skinny window, you've got this big car, and it just feels like you're king of the road in this thing. All right, so for drive modes, we are in auto right now. Leave it in here for a second, get an idea of the sound. Just a naturally aspirated V8, gradual acceleration, sounds fantastic. And you know, if you compare this to like Mustang and Camaro, this isn't gonna handle as well. It feels bigger, it feels more like a boat, but it's more comfortable too, I think, on a day-to-day driving aspect in terms of its ride comfort. But it still sounds great. It's great acceleration. And it handles the torque well in here too. I mean, even if you're not gunning it, you still hear some powertrain, some exhaust, and it sounds nice. I mean, it really does sound good. We'll get on it more in a second. And even though, you know, it doesn't handle as good as like a sports car, it still handles fine. So let me just do a quick little downshift here. We've got metal paddle shifters right here. We were in 8th gear, now we're down to 7th and 6th. 5th, RPMs kick up a little bit. And the paddle shifters are fairly responsive, but I'm not a huge fan of paddle shifters. They're just not quite as in tune with when you want them to go. They're not lightning fast. And you can just hold the paddle down to go into the regular drive mode, get out of manual mode too. Now we've hit some bumps. Nobody really cares about ride comfort in here, but we have hit some bumps and they're fine. I mean, you feel it. Obviously it's fairly stiff, but it's not bad at all. I'm gonna put us in sport mode. You can just touch on the screen. You've also got the ability to activate line lock, so you can roast those rear tires, get them warmed up, good and hot, so you can really get nasty with this. All right, so going 15 miles an hour, Sport mode, pedal down. You got to be careful. You'll lose your end in no time. So sport mode's gonna hold those RPMs up a little bit. Got a little bit of clunky shift in there. And it's not meant to corner. It feels big and heavy, but the straight line powertrain in this is just the best. Sport mode also turns off traction control. That can be part of it. You also have a track mode and even a custom mode as well. Ooh, just listen to that. Manual mode, 4th gear here. Hard shifts and hard clunks. This car gives you the wheelies. I mean, it's just so much fun. It is absolutely more of a straight liner, day-to-day driver than the Mustang and the Camaro. Those are gonna handle better than this and take corners and give you more confidence with that. But this one's more practical. It's got more space. It's got a decent trunk. You can live with this and be more comfortable in a day-to-day aspect and still have that raw V8 power. So to wrap things up on this 2023 Dodge Challenger Shakedown, it's based off the Scat Pack wide body, this one in particular, and it is just a perfect amount of power and looks and just the overall appeal for a muscle car. And it's disappointing that this is their last call. I totally understand, but would you consider buying this for the last year that it's going to be made? Let me know down below. And what do you think of the special edition here and some of the other special editions I told you about? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. A thumbs up would be super helpful. Subscribe for more just like this, and have a great day.